Earlier this year, we launched our new vision, we launched our new brand. And in my presentation, I will repeat some of that, but I'll also fill you in on what happened since we did that presentation in March. A lot of things have happened. So just to look at the center of the battlefield, I think David was sort of alluding to it, but the middle class market, or I would rather say the people with disposable income, that's really what it's about. It's not about defining middle class as a sub-segment in a society. That's where the battleground is. And we see a growth now, these are OECD numbers, from about 2 billion to over 5 billion in 20 years. And actually I checked this up. There was a guy called James Bradshaw, he was from Manchester, he coined this term, middle class, in 1745. So from 1745 until 2009, we had 1.8 billion. And now in only 20 years, that's almost going to triple. So things are really changing quickly. And that's, I think, primarily because of the shifting emerging market, becoming the new middle class market, the new disposable income market. And of course, if we study this, you can see the colors represent different regions. And it's clear that Asia, in green here, represents by far the biggest opportunity. And that's another interesting aspect of the business, is that we have, in the Western world, sometimes the wrong view of where things are happening in the industry. And as we can see on the next slide here, we have a shifting center of economic gravity in the world. We can see from 2009 to 2030, the growth of different regions in terms of middle class total spending. And we can see that Asia, the green pie slice here, represents, I would say, almost like, 6 times North America, 5-6 times in 2030. That's an amazing transformation. It's something we have to be aware of. And I think that our base today of, primary base for, especially for cell phone products, will serve us very well, when this transformation happens. So this we talked about in March, so let's go there. Something has happened since then. Many things have happened since then.
One will change the way we think. One will start a movement.
Another one, a craze.
One will inspire another, which will inspire another, which will inspire them all.
One will deliver a speech that unites a country.
Another will bring a family together.
One will shoot a video that millions will see.
While one will send the most beautiful love letter ever written.
One will make us laugh.
One will make us cry.
One will make us believe in the potential of everyone.
So Android One happened since March, and it's a project we've been doing with Google very closely to build a joint reference design, which is completely tested, hardware, software, everything you need, and provided that to the local top providers like Macromax and Spice and others in India. And it was launched ahead of schedule, and we were the primary partner for that, and we have the clear market leader advantage in this space together with Google for this particular Android One project. It's based on a 6582 quad-core chipset. Jeffrey will talk more about that. And the Indian market, we're going to see some tremendous growth over the next few years. It's estimated that we have about 100 million smartphone users today, and that could well quintuple or sextuple within the next few years. So that's Android One. Another thing we talked about before is that the world is becoming a more equal place, and some of you who've been around for a while may kind of recognize this chart because it shows what used to be called the camelback market. And in the camelback world, the world was divided between developing and developed consumers and nations. So on the left-hand side, we basically have, if you wish, the equivalent of the feature phone, the low end. In the middle, there's a gap, and at the high end, you have the Western world. This is how the market used to look like for a long time, not just in cell phones and consumer electronics, but in general. And last year, we had a switchover, where smartphones actually overtook feature phones, so that left third was actually then smaller than the right 2/3. Last year was the break point. So what's happening now is we have feature to smartphone conversion pushing low to mid. We also have other trends like, commoditization, reduced subsidies, especially less subsidies in the emerging markets and in the Western market, pushing the high-end smartphones down into the mid as well. And then as we talked about this rise of people with disposable income pushing the whole volume up. So we're pushing the segments in toward the middle, and we're making the whole market a whole lot bigger. So this is something that we call the super mid market. This is something we clearly see is happening right now in the industry. We started talking about this earlier this year, and we have a lot of evidence that this is rapidly now happening in the industry. So what we see here is that the boundaries of the super mid market basically are, where you have a good user experience on the low end side, which is the basic smartphone, I would say, like a $100 smartphone or $80 smartphone. And on the right-hand side, you have the best user experience you can get. And these are products that have better specifications than the latest iPhone 6, but they cost less, maybe a half. And we have some examples of that as well. And we have some demos out here where you can see for yourself, some demos of video and other features that clearly outperform the latest iPhone 6. So we see this market compressing in terms of segments and increasing in terms of size. It doesn't mean that everything is mid-range. There is still low, mid, high-end products, but the span is becoming tighter. And there are a few companies that still will have a high-end, mostly from a branding perspective, have a higher value out in the high-end, but in average, it's compressed. So some examples of that, I will show you now in the next video here, where you will see one US product, kind of on the good user experience, kind of to the left, and another one, which is a smartphone product, which is kind of to the right, similar to the iPhone 6. That was just a short video to show you some of the products that have happened since March. I would like to say that the Kindle is an amazing product, the Kindle 6 and 7 HD. It uses our last year's first ARM Big Little heterogeneous computing solution using our 8135 chip. It's a $100 product that performs equally or better than the iPads. It's amazing, and it's really a durable product. So you can buy 9 of those instead of one iPhone 6 Plus to your kids. I mean, I have kids. They drop things, they lose things. I know what my choice will be. Anyways, and then we have the Lenovo phone, which is using our latest, also Big Little configuration, A17, A7, 8-core solution. Just brand new product on the market. And there's another one amazing product here, which I couldn't fit in the video, which is from Gazam, which is the world's thinnest smartphone. And I think that will be presented later on today. And all of these products fall into this super mid category. They're half of the, the highest end products with the same or better performance. Or at the lower end, much less than half, maybe a quarter, maybe a fifth. So it is possible to give really good user experience, to more people if you do it right. So we believe this is the beginning of the greatest all-inclusive cultural transformation ever. These are big words. But if you look at the Industrial Revolution, it started here in England also. A few 100,000, maybe a million people were affected. Now we're talking about 6 billion, 7 billion people in the next 30, 40 years. Everybody's going to get connected to each other and to the internet. Access to education, information, business information. I mean, there's so much opportunity. This is a huge transformation of how we do business in the global economy. We launched this branding campaign 6 months ago, Everyday Genius. We've now launched it in countries all over the world, India, China, Europe, US, Russia, and it's been working the same way in every market. It's pretty amazing. And Everyday Genius is basically what we say, that we're unleashing the power of great technology to release the potential inside every person, for everyone, every day. And it actually captures our strategy in 2 words. Everyday genius. That's our goal with MediaTek, with everything we do. There is more, a lot more. You can imagine where I'm going with this, maybe. Hello, everything. So when I say hello, everything, we mean Internet of Things, wearables, and things like that. So if you look at the background of those campaign pictures we have here, you can kind of see them animate in this picture. What we're saying is hello, new boundless world. It's also about the things around us. The people expect that they can touch anything and something will happen. You see little children today, they go around touching things because they think something will happen, you know, something will interact with them. You know, they think everything is a screen. So, but the point is that sensors, processing, connectivity in the cloud are an inflection point. And we see now that massive new markets can be created cost effectively. It could be consumer market, it could be industrial markets, but we're now at the point where technology can enable a whole lot of things. There will be a panel on this, we'll talk more about that, so I won't go into detail. But the key thing is, I think, the smartphone behavior now has driven consumers to expect this seamless smartphone experience from all devices around them and expect things to be able to interact with them. So it's a very interesting, you know, societal change in that sense. And of course, SoCs is what make it all happen. And we are the key enabler of advanced yet affordable products. So what we're trying to do is to leverage our expertise for low power, versatile solution. Nobody knows exactly what will be the right solution, wrong solution. All we can do is throw the right Lego pieces onto this market, the maker movement, you know, and all the other incubator movements and everything, and see what comes out. So we are in a really good position to merge multiple communications technologies, multimedia, and processor technologies to make this happen, whatever it is. And I think this is also a great strength of MediaTek. We have all these tools. We have more tools than anybody else in the industry for consumer electronics that we can throw out these solutions. It also spans across broad device categories because we don't quite know, you know, what is going to be the end product. Might be an IoT, some module device, wearable. It could also be something inside a router, TV, or a smartphone. We don't quite know. So we have to be flexible. And we've launched a new program for that. We call the MediaTek Labs, which is our development community. That was launched last month. And Mark here is the head of labs. And this is the effort that we use basically for bringing technology out, making it easy to use. Anybody can buy one of these reference designs for about 65, 70 bucks, something like that. You know, individual enthusiasts, maker movement, incubators, company, anybody. So this is basically an attempt to provide the best possible Lego tools for the, you know, the growing IoT and wearables industry. Mark will talk more about that. And lastly, I will just sum up, you know, the position of MediaTek today as we see it, which is quite unique. And first of all, you know, we're founded in the new center of economic gravity. That's clear. You know, the center of economic gravity is in Asia. That's where MediaTek's from. We now have global presence, you know, from emerging to world markets. You know, we open up the new design center in Oulu. We're actually the biggest semiconductor developer in Scandinavia and the Nordics now since Ericsson shut down. So, I mean, we're basically taking the Nokia, Broadcom, and other expertise up there. We also opened up design centers in San Diego last month and in Bangalore a couple of months ago. So, rapid expansion. We also have a history of democratizing the market, what David was talking about, to enable local businesses to grow, you know, to enable people to do, you know, to go out making money and carry on their lives in a better way using affordable products. We have the best price performance. The Kindle is a good example of that. If you benchmark that product, it's going to come out real high. You know, the Lenovo phone that we talked about, it scores, I think it's 50,000 on Antutu, which is iPhone 6 territory. And that was released a couple of months ago. We have wide-ranging device technology expertise. We talked about that. But we also have a huge customer base, hundreds and hundreds of customers. And they are used to our development tools. Don't forget that. I mean, we have, you know, when we launch these IoT devices or the platforms, they're based on SDKs that we have already shipped to hundreds of developers in China and other places. So we're not starting from scratch. We have a huge leverage base. We're very fast paced, as you can see. You know, we came from nothing in the smartphone business in 2011 to now shipping. What the latest number is? 350 this year. Yeah, that's right. And we're also very fast with bringing out new products. You know, also building out our organization, so on. To me, MediaTek is hands down the best execution company that I ever worked for. You know, we do what we say we're going to do, and we do it fast. Usually faster than we promised in the beginning. We have leading system solutions. This is another aspect. You know, we were the pioneer of the turnkey reference design. There's no other company that provides you faster and easier to design in solutions. And we can see Qualcomm and other companies trying to replicate this. But we were the first, and we still have the lead, not only in one product segment, but in general. And we are the innovation leader in many fields, and Kevin will talk about that much more. Multiprocessing, low power, multimedia, so on. We have industry-leading growth, solid financials. David talked about that. Our operating margins are really, really good. I mean, we have lower ASPs, perhaps, than some of our competitors, but still we have very good operating margins. Why? Because we execute solidly. You know, we have a good cost base. And we're investing for the future. We talked about the R&D sides. We're hiring over 2,000 new staff this year, while other companies are actually, in some cases, shutting down, you know, trying to hire more in emerging markets, Asia, shutting down the Western operations. We're hiring all over the place. So where am I going with this? It's my last slide. I think we have a structural edge, structural advantage in the marketplace because of all of these things, right? We have the reference designs, you know, we have the emerging market know-how, we have all the developers worldwide, we have solid financial, everything we talked about. I mean, there are a few companies that can match MediaTek today with the breadth of everything I just said. And this is largely unknown, and that's why I was saying earlier that we are really coming out of the closet. We have to do a better job with media, with analysts to understand, you know, to get them to understand, you guys to understand what we do in a more timely fashion. That, if anything, is something we have to improve, and I promise we will do that. So that's my last slide. Thank you.